so that we can see if it's actually working. So we're doing a test, folks. See if we've got the audio fixed. I think we've got it. Everybody else do a talk.
Hello, I am doing a talk.
Hello, thank you for bearing with us.
Hello, my name is Dave.
Technical issues as normal.
Seems okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
Alright, sounds like we've got that sorted. So we're just going to finish our break. Did everybody else take a break? Because I didn't, I was sat here tasking.
I did.
Not really.
Right, so take a break then, Dave, and we'll be back shortly.
Right, okay. Right.
Patrick
Yeah.
Sykes says there's no sound now.
Have you unmuted it? You'd not have muted it, had
What? So how much have we lost?
25 minutes.
Mozu just told the rest of his companions that he's staying here in the village. It was touching. It was great. It was some of the best roleplay that we've seen so far this campaign, and you all missed it because of me.
For fuck's sake.
Thank you, Patrick Sykes. for
Sorry.
letting us
Oh god.
I'll write a recap tomorrow.
Have you got another one in you, James?
know. No.
It was very touching. We had our Moses had offered the balance village. He's now found his own path. Now Jenna's very upset by why.
Listen,
Oops.
part of Mosul will be with you always, and if you ever come back to the tribe, Mosul will take you in with open arm.
Well, thank you very much, Mozo. I hope you'll find the balance and everything you are looking for.
Leanna's just going to put a hand on Moses. Everyone deserves a home to call their own and people to call family. That's what I'm out searching for. Maybe you finding yours gives me hope for mine.
You will find. Mosul can see.
I'm going to come back with everybody a plate of food. I'm going to say maybe we can have and enjoy our last meal together and make it a night to remember.
Yes, breaking bed. I mean, breaking bread is important. Not breaking bed.
Or would you want to sit out here with us, or would you like us to sit with your new family and break?
No, Mosul will have this last meal with friends, with allies, with
Thank you,
people
Mozo.
Mosul has fought with hard.
Okay. So as the day draws on and the meat is cooked, you can see that more and more food is being brought out from the different homes and other buildings, to the point where there is no there's no lack of food. There's various fruits, there's various vegetables, and there's lots and lots of meat thanks to what the hunters brought him. Um, the, the villagers they all start to sort of pick at things um, before the meat is cooked, and then that starts to get cut straight from the creatures are sort of spit roasted across the fires, so it just gets cut straight from it and handed out, and then eventually people are coming in, they're helping themselves, and it gets to maybe 4 in the afternoon, so people are being eaten, and talking and just sort of mingling really for like 4 hours now. Um, and eventually Gaddol stands, and he sort of raises his hands slightly, and one by one the people, they just sort of notice him and they quiet down, they stop talking, they stop eating, and addressing all of the tribe, Gadtol begins to speak. He says, today we remember Triska. Triska is sister to Alka. Triska is friend to us all. Triska was great hunter, strong warrior, will be remembered, will be honored. And he goes back and he sits back down where he was. And Numa stands up. And as Numa stands up, you notice that a couple of the lizard folk, they have just some small instruments amongst themselves, two drums, one seems to have some sort of flute or wind instrument, um, and another has something that looks kind of like a stick with bells on, basically. And they start to play this music, which is um, it's relatively upbeat, considering that this is effectively a funeral. And as Numa gets up, she focuses and raises her hands, and as she does so, um, a solid image of Triska that is about 8 to 10 feet tall appears just above the fireplace in the center of the group, and she manipulates her hands, and as she does so, the image rotates for all to see. Um, Triska then comes down to the floor and she does a very, very low bow with her hands out front, bows low, stands again, and then the image dissipates into um, sort of small balls of light that come to the floor um, slowly, like snow setting. At this point, three dancers stand and begin to dance with one another around in a circle, circling the inside of where everybody sat, and they do these slow movements as they dance, turning and lifting arms out to one another. And as this happens, Mozu, you would be aware of this dance. So this is this symbolises Triska's path that she's now taken, that she will now move on to the afterlife. Now, even though you're from a different clan, you recognise this particular dance. Many other parts of this ritual, the preparation of the grave, the large image of Triska, and the feast itself, aren't necessarily the same way that you do things in your clan, but this particular dance you do recognise. So this dance depicts the struggles that Triska will face as she tries to make it into the afterlife, and that is that she needs to avoid the temptation of remaining in this world. She has to accept that she's died and her spirit has to move on.
Would Mozu know if it's good or bad etiquette to join in with a dance?
So generally speaking, what would happen is the dancers, or at least in your tribe, the dancers would make one rotation of everybody at the feast, or in your case, it's not a feast, it's a gathering, but one rotation around, and then people would join, and that is they are showing the dead. You are showing them you must go and do this journey.
Okay, so he would join in when it's relative to the dance.
Yeah, and indeed, many other members of the tribe also join at the right time. You can see many of the children have been waiting for that right moment, and with nods from the parents and the elders, they get up and they join. And eventually, there's maybe 15 that have joined these dancers. After a while, the drum beats increase in speed, the tempo gets more, and the dancers sort of they move out of the typical dance that you're familiar with, and it comes into more of spontaneous movements that just get faster and faster and faster until eventually the drumming stops and everybody sort of claps it on the floor, breathing heavily and catching the breath and just waiting. Then all you can hear now is the footsteps of Numa as she moves across um, from her seated position to the centre, where she bows to those that have danced. She bows to Gadol, and then he stands and he goes, and side by side with Numa, they start to walk towards the site of the sacred stone, where the grave site is. And you see people now fall in line um, behind the two leaders. What do you guys do?
I want to follow to watch what they're doing, but not sort of get too close. Sort of stand on the outskirts.
Okay, so you're not getting in the line, but you're following along.
Yeah, just so I can sort of see what they're doing, but like not intrude on.
Okay, okay. What about the rest of
I'm
you?
just paying. I'm just paying close attention to what they're doing.
Okay,
My surroundings.
I was gonna we've all finished eating now, so I'm gonna just step away from the party, just sort of more towards the outskirts of the camp, just find a wall to lean on, and just keep an eye on things. Semi watching the party, but also just watching the area in general.
okay. Mozu?
Um, Obviously, he was joining in with the dance, so he's just got up following that. Um, he decides to walk over to the headstone that he was looking at previously
Mhm.
and just sit with it for a moment in peace.
Okay. So, as this now procession, as it is, of the Lizardfolk in this line, led by Gadtol and Numa, um, they begin to walk towards the grave site, which is, far at the other side of the village, away from what's happening. And they stop at one point, and at this point it is near the home of Triska, and there is a guard standing out and seeing when the others come, he sees them. He lays his spear down on the ground. He doesn't jab it into the floor. He lays it down flat, delicately, and he then goes into the house. And as he comes out of the house, he is followed by the body of Triska, apparently, that has been wrapped in these reeds and placed on a sort of stretcher. Just two simple poles of sort of rough wood, cut straight from a tree, two branches really, and then rope put across them, and Triska's body laid on the rope. And at the other side of that, there is another lizard folk who is carrying bringing up the rear, carrying, and these take the lead now, and they lead you to the grave site where Mozu is now looking over, and they lower the body into the the grave that's been prepared. Numa comes up to the side, and she sort of turns and beckons the rest of the village. And this is a small area, and there's about 40 or 50 people here, and they all sort of crowd around the grave site. And then Numa stands across it. Says, Triska, go join our ancestors. As she holds her arm out and focuses and closes her eyes, a small, almost fluid-like trickle of fire comes from between her hands and drops down into the hole where they've put Triska's body, which immediately catches fire and begins to burn slowly. And for the next 20 minutes, everybody in the village just stares at the body as it burns. Do you guys want to do anything during this period?
Just
Mosey will
go.
Um,
Just keep an eye out on the village.
yeah, I reckon so. Yeah, just paying close attention to everything, making sure like
Okay.
is happening that don't need to be happening.
Right, so Lost, you stayed near the feasting area, didn't you?
Wherever a good wall was to perch myself up against and just keep an eye on either the village or I don't know if I can see beyond the walls side, but just the best sort of observation to clock as much what's going on
Okay.
security wise as well as festivities, but probably more leaning towards security.
Okay, so make me a
Is
perception
someone
check
saying fruit
as you do
table?
this.
Just say that again, sorry, bud.
Make me a perception check, please.
Nope.
Okay. After the 20 minutes have passed, Gadtol is the first to break the silence. It is done. Triska has moved. She has gone. He takes a huge amount of dirt that's been taken from the grave, and he drops it down onto the body, smothering some of the flames. And then almost everybody in the tribe starts to do the same thing, and eventually they're just pushing it in to get all of the dirt upon her.
What did Luke do?
Lucian stayed back, so he didn't observe the funeral in its entirety. He stayed where the feast was going on. Once the dirt has been pushed and it's sort of mounded up, and there is bits of smoke just trickling through the soil, and then some members of the village come forward with stones and drop them down, and they all, not all, but a lot of them do this until there's many stones piled up over the top and the headstone standing proud. One by one, they start to disperse and leave. Some of them head back to the feasting area in the centre of the village. Others apparently go back to their homes. Gaddol looks towards Mozu and gives him another solitary bow. Numa says nothing and goes back to the larger building in the centre. What do you guys want to do?
And Mosey's probably going to want to try and spend as much time as he can with his new friends, or adventure buddies, rather than the village, because he knows that that's going to be the last he sees of them for a long.
Okay, so what's the rest of you doing? Mozu's sticking with you guys apparently.
Do you all think now would be a good time to talk with Lucian?
Maybe Lucian seems to be sticking back, watching
Uh,
but not taking part.
I know you'll feel that your journey with us won't go beyond this village, but hopefully you can assist us in finding out where it is we're going.
Mozo will help you as much as he can whilst you are here.
Thank you,
As
Mozo.
always, a friend.
Do we have lodgings?
Not lodgings as such, but you have the
Yeah,
hut that was given to you. Well, that you was
our lodgings is on the street.
not quite
That would
on
be
the
clean
street.
keeping.
It's enough
people's
that
doorways?
it's enough to keep you warm, and out of the elements, but it wouldn't be very good in winter.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna make my way over to Luke.
Lucian is still sat in the centre of town. A couple of the lizard folk have gone back, and he's talking to one of them as you approach. He seems to be talking to him about the forest, asking them about the various creatures. And as you approach, the lizard folk is telling you about the owl bears that inhabit the area, and how they don't hunt them. It's not telling. They're not talking about anything that you haven't heard already.
Lucian, when you have a moment, I'm interested in knowing where it is you feel we should go next.
Was these lizard folk have been most obliging to us, do you not think? Um, I was concerned we would be blamed for the death of the guard that they gave us, but having met them and spoken to them, I see that they are most incredible people, and I feel as though we should honour our agreement and find the missing hunters.
Such a sudden change of heart, considering that you did not want to come back here. Can I insight check him?
You certainly can. Ooh, I'm getting some major lags. Oh, it's gone. Sorry, it's gone. Okay, so look. Just put this to GM. And bum, 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 bum. Okay, so that was really close, really close. So you get the picture that he's, or you get the impression that he's not being entirely truthful with you. Not that he's lying, but that he's missing something out. He certainly seems touched by the lizard folk, how they've welcomed him back. He definitely seems surprised that, from his point of view, you understand. Um, he came back with a member of their people dead and expected to be, condemned and criticised for that. And he's genuinely surprised that they didn't, that they've treated him so well.
Okay. So, we'll go to, well, we went to the Standing Stones, the last known location, and we followed what the little tracks we could. How do you expect us to pick up a trail?
He thinks for a moment. Hmm. I'm not sure. These people are very different, you understand. If I was at
I,
Silverton or Anquan, I would say let us find some enemies of these people, but they are on their own here, and as a village they seem as one, you understand.
uh, I, I, I won't claim to understand these people, no, but I think I know where you're coming from. Let me ask you this. If they don't have enemies, do you think the three that went missing is connected to the one who was stabbed back?
Well, we was told that they would go to the Standing Stones, yes? They would pray there, or something to that effect. And yet this Triska was attacked from behind and uh, brutally. There was blood. There was no blood. We did not see any blood at the Standing Stones, did we?
No, but that doesn't mean that it's not connected. maybe she put up more of a fight. Maybe something went different or wrong, and she made a run for it.
Or maybe they didn't make it to the sand dunes.
Yes, this is true. I am not one for seeking people. I do not understand how to check um, the tracks or anything like this. So I do not know. But what I do know is investigations. This is my forte. This is what I do. Yes, I seek out the secrets of the world. And if indeed there is a secret here, then we could apply my logic to this, and we could go to what we know in order to find things that we do not know. We know that Triska was killed, and we know where, but we do not know why.
Oh, oh.
We do not know who. I would return and look for, I don't know, something else. Perhaps one of you here can do the tracking.
Alright, well, come daylight, we'll go have a look.
Um,
Or we just so know we go now.
This is a good idea, I think, to go in the daylight. I do not know how much daylight we have left. However, if you will allow, I would like to stay here and learn more of these people. Perhaps you
I
could
just
go alone. The four of you, you understand.
okay.
Yeah, that would be perfectly fine.
I'm definitely inciting that.
Okay.
I'm gonna turn to Lost and go. I think it would be more of a liability coming with, not coming with us.
20, yeah. Um, his reason for wanting to stay, he said that he wants to learn more about these people. His line. That's not why he wants to stay.
He wants to rob 'em.
You don't know why he wants to stay, but it's not to learn more about these people. You know that for sure.
Do I get any intention that he means to flee while we're gone?
No, his interest definitely is here. When he says that he wants to stay, he's definitely interested in something. Though it's, I mean, you did beat his role by quite a bit. Um, you gather it's a mixture of intention, so he has a reason to stay, but it's also cowardice. He doesn't want to go looking for somebody that can kill a hunter.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe you are better here. Us four shall go look.
Very well. I understand this feast would normally run deep into the night. As they tell me there will be something they call a mark soon. And a mark is, well, it sounds to me like it is wine. I'm intrigued to try it.
Just next time I sort of get alone with Moses, I'm just gonna say, you know, when we leave, you may want to assign a guard just to keep an eye on. I'm not sure I entirely trust it.
Also, never really trusted him in first place. So yes, Mozu will keep personal eye on him.
Are you not accompanying us to look for the tracks?
Oh yeah, but after that, that's what Mozu meant.
Oh, right, I understand.
Okay, so all right, so you guys have now got the rest of the night in order to get the benefits of a full rest. Now you have had a full rest, but if you don't take another one, you risk exhaustion. Um, so in order to get the benefits of that rest, you guys still have, sort of 6 hours, 7 hours maybe, of downtime here. So, is there anything in particular you want to do?
Um, what is there to do?
Not a great deal. They do bring out these barrels of this brownish, foaming liquid, which is the mac that they were talking about.
Oh,
Which,
that's over here, man.
if you
Not quite the one Lucian was for.
no, Lucian's a bit revolted, but he tries it. They actually tell you that it is it's actually milk from owl bears that's being fermented. It tastes revolting, but it's really really strong alcoholic drink.
Well, I'll try anything once.
I'm with you. This might be the only time I get to try this ridiculous piss, but I'll try it nonetheless. And Lucian
I
takes
hold my nose.
a huge swig of it, and he almost throws it up straight away, but he manages to keep it down.
I hold my nose and down it.
Um, it kind of tastes like milk that's gone off. It's not lumpy though, and it's got like an aftertaste of Guinness. It's quite strong.
Very nice.
If you have more than two, you need to do a constitution check to see how drunk you get.
Ah, Jesus. I better do that. I'm hoping to. I'm hoping to have about 3 or 4, maybe.
Okay, do me a
Maybe that.
constitution saving throw then.
Sure, now genuine a dwarf guy.
I'm sure.
It's a barbarian. Just Constitution.
Yeah, just click your constitution. Can you find it?
I just have to do it.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Yeah,
Do
come
you
on.
want me to do it for you?
Come on.
No, it's roll constitution
Oh, have you? Sorry, I
you
didn't
go.
see it. Sorry.
Hey,
because they ain't got the dice.
Oh, 18. Yeah, no, you're all right. You don't get hammered. You get merry, and when you wake up in the morning, you have a little bit of an ache, but you don't have a headache or a hangover or anything.
oh, good.
What about the rest of you? Are you doing anything with your night?
Lotion, do I have any paper and a writing implement?
Just my journal, which I am a little reluctant to let you write in, but you can use my quill and ink if you can find something else to write on.
Oh, would you not be willing to tear a page out?
Make a persuasion check. Okay, yes, I think I can do that. Tears a page out and hands it to you. It's paper, it's not parchment, and it's really, really good quality. It's quite thick. It's the sort of stuff that is designed for ink, both to be drawn and written on without the needing for it to be overbled. Where you dampen it down to get rid of the runs. It doesn't need that, so it's really, really good. So yeah, but nevertheless, you now have a piece of paper.
Thank you. I suspect I'm probably going to need to go looking for this, but I was hoping to get like a piece of charcoal or something to actually like draw with, rather than a quill for it.
He only has a quill and ink.
Calling the
Oh, can I ask around?
Yeah, as Sarah says, you could pick a piece of coal, charcoal, bent wood
Yep.
out of the fire.
Yep, just whatever I can find at hand.
It's not too difficult.
Yep, make my way back to our lodgings, and I'm just going to try and charcoal sketch what I can remember of the image of that woman.
Oh,
Not the one with the veil, but the one who I think maybe killed me.
So you don't have many memories beyond waking in that cave. And with so few memories, it's quite easy for you to recall the face. But let's have a sleight of hand check to see how well you can draw the image that you remember. It's not bad. It's definitely a likeness. It's missing, shading and the nuances of a trained artist, but it's not bad.
Okay. Then afterwards, I'll just fold it up. That's the only thing that came to mind as far as downtime.
Okay, cool. Is anybody else doing anything tonight?
No, Leanna would watch over what was going on for a bit and make her way back.
Okay.
Settle.
The rest of the night appears to be mostly lizardfolk men getting pissed and sitting around the fire. There's also a moment where they start to throw spears in the palisade wall, which there appears to be a game to it, but you don't get the nuances of it.
Yeah. Then you pull a rud up, go back over, settle for the night.
Okay,
Can Mosey try and join in?
you can indeed, Mozu.
Mosey will join in.
Mozu joins in. So make a as a monk, you would be proficient with spear. So make a d20. Have you got spear in your thrown spear in your character sheet?
I've got a dart, I've got a
Mm.
glaive, I've got a quarterstaff.
Okay, well just roll 1d20 plus your dex plus your proficiency.
Bear with.
And the others explain that the object is to get it as close to the last person who threw the spear. So three of them throw a spear. The first person is setting the bar, the second person has to get as close to it as possible, and the third person has to get as close to the last one. And you are the third to take place, so you need to get as close to the last spear, which is about a foot away from the first one.
What would my proficiency be?
3. 19, not bad. You're about 4 or 5 inches off the last spear, which makes you the winner of this round. And your reward is you have to take a very large drink of mark.
Mosey takes it.
And make a constitution saving throw for me. It's good. You feel pretty pissed by the time you finished it, but when you wake up in the morning, you don't feel any lasting effects other than some grogginess in the morning.
Nice.
Okay. So, you guys, one by